Hello, and welcome to the Cursed Content Club, the only club where we shoot ourselves with nail guns. Joining me today are Bob...
No, we don't!
KZ's still in denial. Joining me today are Dan and Bob Video Games of GigaBoots.com.
How's it going, Phil?
Yeah, what's up?
Doing well, got my nail gun all prepped. And KZ Excellent from KZExcellent.com.
I don't even own nails.
Too poor. Use a
Well,
gum.
that's fucking unprofessional. Why wouldn't you come prepared, KZ? This is bullshit. Now we gotta wait while you go to Home Depot.
Just go to Ace, it's closer. It's 12:20 a.m.
You're right. You're just going to have to go to Walmart.
But today, on the Cursed Content Club, we'll be shooting ourselves with a completely unknown movie called Isolation 119. And I have no clue what that is, so Dan can explain it.
Isolation 119 is the brilliant vision of a man who went to some Asian country and made a film there. So that way, the cost of him traveling over there was a business expense. And he has decided to share this brilliant film with all of you on Amazon Prime. So if you'd like to go watch the movie with us or before watching the rest of this review, feel free to go over to Amazon Prime and look up Isolation 119. It has 1.5 stars.
And if you're a patron of our Patreon, patreon.com/gbpodcasts, you can join us watching it with our commentary track.
You'll want someone there as you slowly lose your mind.
As you experience the touching tale of a man who really wants a tax write-off. So we're gonna go watch the movie now.
We should get some expectations from people.
That's right.
KZ, have either of you watched the trailer?
No. I'm going in completely blind. I expect something insane.
I don't even know the genre.
Let me tell you, this is how good of an indie film you've signed up for. Microsoft Sam is a leading actor.
Don't get me hyped. Don't get me hyped.
The genre is suspense.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
One might misdescribe this movie as a man is trying to solve his brother's murder? ?
In the hotel room where he's having a vacation.
But yeah, I'm very excited.
In this scene, we focus on the electrical outlet and wonder if the electrical outlet killed his brother.
Hey, Bob.
What's up?
How many times have we watched this?
Oh my god, I think it's been at least 2. It might be 3.
We're at 2, I think. We're at 2. This is going to be our 3rd viewing because my life keeps giving me new avenues to shove this movie into.
Just get your plunger and pack it down our throat.
Very excited. Okay. Let's do this.
And we're back.
That's the most life energy I've ever heard and feel after a movie.
He forgot his bit.
No, I didn't forget a bit.
He's just alive.
I only sound drained if the movie was a draining experience.
Yeah, see, in order to get him...
I didn't sound drained after Good Burger.
After getting him to watch those Channel Awesome movies, we had to give him a piece of chocolate just so he could come back to life and not be comatose.
Then an adrenaline shot to his heart.
Oh, read another book, Dan. Read another book. I should also read another book because I instantly detected it. By the way, the chocolate was gay.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. I should read any books.
Anyway, we are back from watching Isolation 119, which you can watch right now on Amazon Prime if you haven't done that yet. And I highly recommend it.
It's free.
If you don't know what Isolation 119 is, Isolation 119 is a movie. It was recorded on a camera and allegedly features characters, dialogue, and special effects. It has a runtime and ostensibly has a plot. A dog is in this film. So, Dan, what did you think of Isolation 119?
That dog is really great. Isolation 119, it walks a very, very fine line between being so up its own ass that it'll do really pretentious and nonsensical things, but not having enough production chops to pull it off in a way that's pretentious. So you get lots of bad green screening, and I love it. Bob, what do you think about Isolation 119?
The tone is all over the place. There's more stock footage than regular footage, maybe. But there is a dog.
Maybe.
And the stock footage being intercut with footage the guy recorded himself on his 1080i, quote, prosumer, quote, camcorder. It's intercut so often that we entertained that the dog would, like, it would cut to stock footage of a different dog being washed. Because it does.
Was that a different dog?
No.
Wait, what?
No, it's the same dog, but like honestly, they do things like they have a person unlock a door and it cuts to stock footage of the internal mechanisms of how a door lock works.
I think the most amazing one is when he opens a beer. It cuts to stock footage of a beer being opened. Then he just films himself opening another beer.
Yeah.
Like the same
That's
exact
incredible.
shot.
It's like he's about to open the beer, then we cut to this beautiful slow-mo shot filmed on a very professional camera at a high frame rate, and then immediately jump cuts or hard cuts to, I guess you would call it a smash cut, to his shitty footage of the beer being opened that looks nowhere near as good.
Was he just like, okay, oh fuck, I didn't record myself opening enough beers. I can't just like flip one of the shots around and convince people it's a different shot. I better ham fist in this stock footage.
We need to know he opened more than one.
I
reason.
legit have no fucking idea.
Well, we do know he opened more than one because there was multiple can opening shots, and then he only had 6 beers
We
left.
had a cool montage of him
So was he,
opening
like,
5 beers and then pouring it into a glass and drinking it.
Was he keeping count and was like, this'll break continuity all over?
What?
So, once again, we need to explain the scale here at Cursed Content Club. It goes from -5 to 5.
-5 to 5. 5 is a 50%.
Right, so it's still a failing grade. It's still, like, below mediocre. I'm going to go ahead and give Isolation 119 the coveted 3 out of 5.
Wow.
Isolation 119 is one of the best case scenarios for a crappy indie film. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It constantly comes up with a new terrible idea of what to do with the movie.
Every single scene has a different tone.
And every single scene has a different production problem. The entire movie comes off as a tax write-off for a guy who just wanted to go to Thailand on vacation. And it's, I think it's marvelous. It may be one of the best shows we watch on Cursed Content Club. That's my review.
Yeah, I don't think I can be quite as positive.
That's our Bob.
It's a masterpiece. It's fucking
it's
Citizen Kane of indie film.
It's worlds better than those Channel Awesome films.
Right. I mean,
It didn't make me want to die.
Right. Like there's things that are happening, even if they don't make sense. They are kind of amazing. I'm gonna give it a 2.
Ooh.
I feel like there could be a whole lot worse. It's not even close to a passing grade, but it's up there. What about you, KZ?
Isolation 119 continues to confuse me even now. I was going to give it what you would consider a positive grade here, but its ending twist is so befuddling and bad, I'm giving this a 0.
Wait, we can do a 0? Like, I thought we went straight to -1.
Yeah, it's the very middle.
Yeah, I didn't.
I gave Suburban Nights a 0.
The Great Equalizer.
So, first of all, I'd like to explain how Dan has poisoned me, because they say that this was filmed on a prosumer camera, a combination of pro and consumer, and my brain immediately went to, that means it's bad. That means it's a bad camera.
So here's the funny thing. It used to not mean that, but generally speaking nowadays, if anyone uses that term, it absolutely means that. It means they paid too much for a camcorder. It didn't used to mean that. In fact, every camera we've ever bought, except for the GH2, has been considered a prosumer camera and looked really good for their price at the time. But this dude's filming in 1080i. It's like interlaced, and it's a problem the whole film. Like,
it honestly looked like 16:9 480.
Yeah, it's a really soft camera. There was actually a time,
I guess it would be 544 maybe would be what that would be.
Yeah, he's filming it at Vita resolutions.
Most Vita games looked better than this. But this movie was not boring. it was befuddling. I was genuinely confused multiple times.
One might say most of
But
the
things moved so quickly that I couldn't really dwell on any one aspect of the film for too long. I don't know what the director's intent of this movie was. Like, I can't tell if it was a comedy or not. And apparently he didn't know either, because in the trivia on Amazon Prime, it says he couldn't decide what genre it was. And I also don't know what fucking genre it was, because I just don't know. Like, there's scenes that seem like they're supposed to be comedic, including the ending twist almost seems like it's supposed to be a comedy. Like, it's supposed to almost, like, the credits kick in right before the guy at the end was going to yell punked. So there's that. Still, it wasn't even remotely painful. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay, so me and Phil gave it a 3. Bob gave it a 2. What did KZ give it?
A 0. So that means it averages out to 2.
Yeah, and everything is technically in the positives here.
Yeah.
Well, this movie was not like, if somebody said, "Hey, watch this movie," and I watched it, I wouldn't be mad after. I don't think anybody would. This movie does not feel like a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, even watching it for my third time, I was delighted by there's an infinite number of production problems. Like, you'll never notice them all on a single watch through. It's impossible.
I'm a big fan of the title card intros for every character when they show up,
Where it freeze frames.
and tells you what the heck they're doing and what their motivation might be.
Yeah, before they've even said a few sentences sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, he wanted to have a scene where he walked up to a car and a note was taped to the side rear view mirror. But he forgot to put it in the first shot. So he edits in a piece of paper below the mirror that's shaking all throughout the shot. And then when it cuts to the other side, it doesn't even look like the same paper. There's so many different things.
This is going to be a hard episode because this movie, like, repels attempts to remember it.
Yes.
It's the Castle Oblivion of films.
Yes.
And yet there's no hurt.
There's a lot of Kingdom Hearts in this movie.
There's an alarming amount of Kingdom Hearts. We can't escape it no matter what we do.
There was a complete dark shot when a door of light opened up.
Yeah, oh god.
There was like a Disney-esque sparkle effect going through the darkness with a little star trail.
And a chess match against a robed person.
Who spoke in the voice of Microsoft Sam.
It's great.
About light, darkness, and the end of the universe.
And then the twist was it was his brother's nobody. It was really weird.
So let's before we talk about it anymore, let's get into the bits. Let's get into the segments. Best scene, Dan.
The best scene in this movie, the one that has always stuck with me, and I have referenced in GigaBoots videos before, but people have not understood. Now, if they go back and watch, they'll catch it and be like, that son of a bitch, is the scene where this extra-dimensional being tells him that this Thai demon is going to kill him in a few days, the main character. So he says, hey, kill yourself before she gets here and kills you. And he goes on a really long tangent about how life itself is indestructible. It goes on. Remove yourself from you. All of this is an illusion. So kill yourself, dude.
And the tangent is really insane because it's his logic is literally the law of conservation of mass means that matter cannot be created nor destroyed. So even if you die, your body will just become something else. So you can't die. You're immortal. So kill yourself.
Yep,
Right?
It's
like
so good.
You're gonna die, so die.
You're gonna die. Hurry up and get it over with.
You're gonna die, so die before you die.
Which is even weirder when you think about the weird moral of the movie that is tacked on at the very end.
Which isn't even a moral. It's just
dumb.
It's just a statement.
Yeah.
The moral is when people die, you will be sad, but don't worry because someday you'll die and then other people will be sad.
Isn't
Oh,
that the
good.
true horror? We're not exaggerating, guys. This is literally
Yeah, it's literally
the
That's
movie
literally
fucking
what it
ends
says.
with that. It's technically a post-ending moment, but Jesus.
It's conveyed in a much more up its own ass way than that. Like, it has much more flowery prose to communicate that very simple idea.
You can imagine V saying it.
So it is written.
That's
The guy in the cloak is just V.
I am but 2 days old.
KZ,
Yeah.
favorite scene.
Well, thankfully, I can of course choose when the dude's asleep and then his robed brother comes in and shows him the cosmos.
Yeah, he starts like he has his hands open and they put like an Adobe Premiere effect in his hands.
Like 3 different
then,
Premiere
like-
effects.
And then we go to like the dimension of the elementary school educational video about space. Like we go to the PBS documentary dimension, where it just shows a bunch of shots of like the Milky Way galaxy as he's droning on in the Microsoft Sam voice.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's really good. It takes a level of bad skills and a level of insane confidence to produce something like this.
Yeah, I feel like there has to have been a point while making that he realized he couldn't actually do it, but he just hammered through it. It's just like, this scene has to be here.
You know what? That's respectable on a lot of levels.
I mean, it's brought us joy, so who am I to question its existence? Hey,
Right.
Bob,
What's up?
what is your favorite
I'm
scene?
honestly caught up. There's 2 scenes that are just really stand out to me.
They're vying for attention.
Yes. I'm going to go with the bullet scene.
The bullet scene is incredible. He shoots a woman that he thinks is an Organization 13 member. He's confused.
Yeah, he thinks it's Microsoft Sam. You have to kill him.
And
Mac
there
fanboys,
is
am I right?
a CGI bullet, and it's like the ending of Resident Evil 0 when Billy shoots the Magnum, and it's like the rocket in every other RE game, but it's the bullet.
Yeah.
So it's like a slow motion CG bullet, and the camera like whips around the bullet, and we get a really terrible shot of the woman being shot because they didn't have like squibs or anything or like a blood packet. So she just like nods her head really hard, and they put like a blood splatter filter on the screen.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Does this include him talking with
No, that is far from, that is like the worst. The absolute
that
worst
is its
scene
own
is
scene where it's like, hey man, I'll help you out with this body if you follow me on Twitter.
right.
No, see, that was my favorite scene, the scene of Phalus, the guy who looks like Phalus. Phalus is not literally in this movie, but there's a man who looks like him.
Way too much like him. That's
I knew you'd like the checkmark scene.
No, well, I'm also including the scene of him dismembering the body as music that I am pretty sure is from Shadow Heart's Covenant for the PS2 plays, and the movie completely changes scenes, and there's like colored filters like a rave light, and he's like doing dances with the bow saw
Studio
as he's
laughter,
dismembering this body.
Applause.
And then he puts her in a suitcase that could not fit any body, much less hers, even dismembered.
Yeah.
And it like the movie just transforms into like a YouTube video for 5 minutes.
Is this movie
And it's
profound?
amazing.
Is this movie profound?
No.
In the fact that the brother, the dude attempts to shoot, ends up shooting the woman, but he thought it was the hooded dude, but that turns out to be his brother. But he shot the woman who, it's like, your brother owes me money. It's all linked. Keynote.
This movie is profoundly confusing.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really surprised no one's favorite scene was the nature trail trip he took, where he cuts between footage of him in a forest and then stock footage of a different forest, and then he cuts to footage of a festival that's stock footage, and he poorly green screens himself into this festival.
It looks like that fucking Twitter meme of John Travolta like stepping out and looking confused and like shrugging,
Those all look
and
better.
they just put him in front of whatever. It's that.
But like way worse, because I've never seen one of those where the arm was transparent.
Yeah, his whole head was transparent in parts of the scene.
It's so good.
Like, what are you doing? Why do you need to convince us this festival was going on while you were there? That seems irrelevant.
And one of the stock footage festival scenes is a bunch of flying lanterns being let loose. So once again, a Kingdom Hearts tie.
Yes.
My other scene that was going to be my favorite scene
Yeah.
was the fight scene between main character and Phalus. Because it's just insane.
Oh,
They pretend
where
it's
they have the
raining.
rain effect, but they don't wet his shirt, so he's dry but also wet.
Yes.
And it is still somehow a better fight scene than any of the Channel Awesome movies.
Yeah, weirdly enough, it's a complete mess, but yeah.
Yeah, no, there's so many good moments in it, and you can't possibly retain them all in your brain, so multiple viewings actually goes really well.
Yeah, it's almost like the movie just isn't connected together at all.
And I'm pretty sure that's because he just filmed shit and was like, oh fuck. I don't have enough. I have like 30 minutes of footage. Okay, let's get stock footage. Let's shoot some stuff at home. I can shoot some stuff with my wife or girlfriend, whichever she is.
Mm-hmm.
I can do a shot, then do the shot in black and white, then turn the shot upside down in black and white, then put a flame effect over the shot. It'll be 4 different shots. It'll give me 4 times the footage.
And that's a minute right there.
Great.
Good job.
Right, it's like good thing I got some extra footage of those lizards around. There's like seriously a shot of a gecko on the ceiling, a shot of Komodo dragon that wandered through his lawn.
It was great.
It was great.
It was so good.
That Komodo dragon was raw.
Now it's time for the least engaging scene in this movie. And I'm going to go first because I have a good one. Or just the worst scene, rather, not the least engaging. Every day to night shot was so atrocious and jarring.
Day for night, where he shoots a night scene at day.
In the day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you know it's bad when both Casey and Field just immediately can tell. They have
I don't think he need. It's every day to night shot, day for night shot ever fucking filmed has been obvious for the record.
Well, time to slip a day for night shot into the Mighty Number 9 review and see if Feel can tell.
It's a bad technique.
Make sure to put Will in there too.
Get that lingering will in that day for night.
Competing for it is there's a scene where he hears a crash and goes to look, and his car is under like a carport and there's a light on it. So he goes and gets a flashlight and goes to check the crash, and the light on the carport is off because he turned the light on the carport off between scenes, so it would make sense that he had a flashlight.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a worse scene.
And that is so unbelievably stupid. I can't deal with it. Okay, Casey, you may go.
The scene where they're supposed to show the girl killing herself, that was the most boring thing I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
Why was that so long?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty long. And also, Kevin Baker, the director / writer / star of this film, does not know how hanging works, because he seems to think that you choke to death when you hang yourself, which isn't what happens, because that's a slow and horrifying way to die. When you hang yourself, it snaps your neck.
But not if you do it wrong. Like really, really wrong.
Really wrong, like you use a cheap silk scarf, like a faux silk scarf, and tie it around a door and like just kind of dangle and kick your feet lightly, and you die in half a second somehow.
You know, for
Somehow.
a movie that kept telling me to kill myself, sure doesn't seem to know a lot about suicide.
Yeah, most of the suicide scenes in this are insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say, think about all the violence in this movie. Like scissors cut the eyeball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing.
Break the cup, slam your head on it.
Yeah.
This movie opens with the main character's brother attempting to kill himself by
Smashing a glass in the sink, putting the biggest shard of that in the bathtub, in the hole, in the drain, and then sitting down in the bathtub to slam his head down on it.
when he had a gun.
Yeah, that's just didn't want to die. He just wanted to fool freaking Thai demon into thinking he killed himself. I think.
See, that's what. No,
He's pranking
was
the
there a
ghost.
Thai demon? Because now I'm confused. Was this all a plot to get back at his brother? That's why I said
What a deep
the movie
story.
The movie almost ends with like me expecting him to go punked.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Was the weird thing about the flashback with the girl who kills herself? You have to turn subtitles on Amazon to even know what she's saying.
Yeah, I found that out this time on my third viewing.
Yeah.
Best part, I was so in awe that was the case that I didn't read anything she said.
It was just nonsense about how her husband or boyfriend died.
Was taken from her.
Yeah.
And then she says all of that in Thai or whatever, and then she goes in English right before she kills herself. She goes, "Why did you take him from me?" Because she clearly doesn't speak English as a first language, and it's real rough, and it's in the trailer. So if you're curious how that went, go watch the trailer. It's got a good bit of that scene in it.
I did pull up the trailer just so I could get a good shot of the dude with the gun. With the interlaced fucking bullets.
Yep. CG bullet of man shooting a gun.
Blocks your path.
Yeah. Oh, man.
For a moment, he entered the Matrix.
Too bad he couldn't afford 1080p Matrix.
Yeah, no, that stuff is expensive. He's got an Xbox original.
Man, what is... Okay, so Casey's was the scene that takes forever of her as a young... Or her daughter, Maynock's daughter. Bob's scene was...
I didn't go yet.
Okay. Go ahead, Bob.
This is actually hard. They took like some of the worst. Man. Dan, you go ahead and go.
Since a lot of the worst scenes have already been taken, I'm going to go ahead and say the opening, where it's stock footage of planes landing and then him going in the airport, getting in his car, putting his suitcase in his trunk.
That's not really a boring scene, though, because there's a lot of interesting... I mean, more interesting than a Channel Awesome movie.
Well, right. That's a
Shots.
That's a really low bar. But here's the thing, though. Keep in mind, this is my third viewing, and you two literally took the worst scenes. I'm going to say that because the dog scene still has a dog. If it didn't have a dog in it, then it would,
I think the scene where he's just talking to the quote-unquote loan shark in his kitchen is very terrible.
It is pretty bad.
Neither of them can act at all, and there's nothing insane happening in the scene.
I don't know. The whole scene's nature of this dialogue between them, the exact words they're saying, and the fact they're having this conversation, compounded with the stock footage of a lighter in slow motion.
Yeah, I think that what really made that scene for me was when, before she even says anything, we find out she's a crazy big loan shark that's on the run.
She's a Chinese loan shark ringleader who's escaped to the Southeast Asia.
She's so well known that her main enforcer is a slightly doughy white dude
who the movie makes a point of saying is mentally damaged.
Yeah, and they say they have a little they have a Metal Gear-esque title card for him, where it's like he doesn't look people in the eye when he's being friendly, which translates out to me as this dude can't act and we need an explanation for it.
Yeah, it probably did mean that, but the exact line was like, he gets aggressive if you make eye contact. It makes him upset.
Yeah, and so when he's being friendly, he doesn't have eye contact.
So I'm gonna say yeah, the intro stuff, it's pretty distended. If the nature trail stuff didn't constantly cut to insane stock footage, it probably would get this award, because once again, Casey and Feel have taken the two worst scenes.
Although I do enjoy how there's like, you can tell that Kevin Bacon might be insane.
Allegedly.
He does have the face.
Because like I mentioned before with him adding the stock footage of him opening the beer can because he counted and thought that would be like a plot hole. You also have, like what I just mentioned, the title card for why he can't act.
Uh-huh.
But then you have the guy I hired to be my brother doesn't look enough like me. I better add a line in this movie explaining why he doesn't look enough like me.
Yeah, that's a sure sign of someone whose weird anxiety is going to ruin a script. Quick, add in a line that explains why this dude doesn't look enough like me. So, Bob.
Yeah, I guess near the end of the movie, there's actually some really good stuff. But it plays just a buzzing noise.
Oh, yeah, the high
for
pitch.
Like three scenes in a row.
Oh man.
Yeah,
if I remembered that.
It
Because
just keeps
of course,
going.
This is the Castle Oblivion of films.
Yeah. No, it actively tries to make you forget.
We found the hurt.
When he cuts the fucking cord, unplugged cord.
The best part is, okay, so this monitor, which is a Mac, keeps making this ringing sound. He pulls the cable out of the wall, the power cable. He shows it that he has the power cable, and he cuts it in front of it, almost like he's trying to go, see, monitor, you don't have power, stop. It's like, what is going on? And then he smashes it with a bat, and I was like, I guarantee you guys, he fucking that's an old Mac or something, and he just wanted to write it off on his taxes, so he smashed it in a scene in the movie. And then the trivia afterwards goes,
It burned up trying to render this fucking movie.
yeah, it's so hot in Thailand that while trying to render this movie, it fucking overheated and died.
I also enjoyed how certain scenes in the movie are very clearly filmed in certain places, so the the condo he's renting is not damaged and he doesn't lose his deposit. Like he carries the monitor into the kitchen where he can easily sweep up the glass,
Right.
to hit it with the
Because of course,
hit it with the bat.
when the monitor is being possessed by some demon and turned on, making a buzzing noise, he takes the time to take it all the way downstairs to smash it.
And I feel like we should add that before the buzzing starts, and then it cuts to Cloakman, the Organization 13 member, who does a comedy bit out of nowhere where he talks like a airline attendant and being like, if you're prepared, you're about to die, make sure you're comfortable and your seat is in a upright position and you're ready to use your air mask. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, this movie has no idea what it is.
It's a fantastically enjoyable mess. I wish any of the indie film festivals, or like short film festivals I've been to, had something this insane and broken.
The loan shark plot doesn't even need to be in the film. It's just there to make it longer.
Yeah, like he shoots that woman, and the only thing it influences at all is he dumps a bunch of ice in the sink and then dunks his face in the sink, which seems fucking. This is another point of me thinking Kevin Bacon is an insane person.
Right, like that's totally something normal to him, I assume.
Yeah, that doesn't have an effect on anything. None of it does. There's a fight scene. There's the shooting scene, the cutting her up thing.
There's Phalus wanting clout.
Yeah, all of that just doesn't matter.
It's just something else to be in this movie and confuse you more.
It's like a filler episode in the movie.
And a movie that has 30 minutes of original footage.
How the fuck is there like a 20-minute side plot filler thing in an hour-long movie?
Which has 20 minutes of stock footage already.
And yet the main plot line is so weak that this side story almost seems stronger than the real plot of the movie.
You say that until you watch that fucking scene again where the After Effects stuff starts happening and he's like
I'm
holding the planet.
gonna be real with you. I don't fucking know what the plot is supposed to be.
It's a fair assessment.
He's got to figure out the mystery.
So his brother spends 4 months in the hospital after fucking up killing himself, and he stays in Thailand to solve the mystery of why he tried to fucking kill himself by not sitting in the hospital with him and asking him a bunch of questions and trying to help him with this, but by sitting in his house, this house he rented, drinking beer and just being depressed because his wife left him.
He only drank beer one night, and then he's decided that he was going cold turkey, so he hit the remaining cans of beer with a bat instead of
All
just
5
throwing
of
them
them.
out.
Oh,
6 of them, Dan.
Six. Oh, man.
Six
Oh,
of them, but
Jesus.
we only saw him hitting 4 because he missed 2 of them and they broke open on the concrete. Couldn't go get more beer to do that scene again.
Yep.
Can't go buy more beers.
It's a really incredible film in a lot of ways.
I'm assuming his brother is in a coma, but like I'm not sure if his brother being Cloakman is literal or if it's a ghost.
You have all spent more time thinking about this than the guy who wrote it.
No, surely he's up his own ass enough to have an answer and be like, if only they can understand my genius. Surely.
Well, once he will be in the comments of this podcast episode.
I fucking hope.
I look forward to it, Kevin. Please enlighten us. I will pin your comment.
Yes.
The illustrious pin.
Not everyone gets this.
Usually you have to do something like, I don't know, time tap the podcast.
Yeah, they usually have to timestamp the podcast to get that sort of treatment.
Moving on to the last couple bits.
Phil needs a moment just...
I feel like I could just talk about how confusing and baffling this film is for a long time.
Right?
So our favorite human being / entity on screen.
Oh, thank God.
/ entity?
Yeah, because
Well,
it could be.
I mean, you can pick that lizard.
Yeah.
All right, by the
Pick a
way,
dog.
I have mine. Komodo dragon.
cheater.
He's a pretty good lizard.
I'm picking Phalus.
These are all really good choices, but I need to hear explanations for each. Maybe like 1 or 2 sentences. KZ, sell me on this Komodo dragon.
All right, so you're going through this movie, right? And you're really confused because it has like a horror movie setup, but it's not at all scary at any point. And it's also kind of meandering and confusing. But then suddenly they transition to a new day, and this scene starts with a Komodo dragon just walking in the driveway. And you go, oh man, they put the Komodo dragon there just as a sign that this movie is great, because this dude just fucking filmed the Komodo dragon and went, I can put this in my fucking movie. It'll look like some art house shit. It's raw.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Feel?
So every scene Phalus is in is really fucking funny. Not in. I mean, I guess him dancing while he dismembers a corpse is supposed to be funny, and him handing a little scrap of paper to the protagonist with his Twitter account and his Facebook page, because all he wants as payment for dismembering a corpse and hiding it is to be favorited on Facebook, is really funny. But then you get the scene of him like dragging a very light and thing that does not at all need to be dragged. A very light axe. He's dragging it like fucking pyramid.
It's like
head.
one of those. It's like one of those really small like hand hatchets. It's barely even a foot tall. It's really
It's
tiny.
No. It's like it's a yard hatchet. You can go buy one at Home Depot for $15.
Yeah. It's absolutely tiny. It's like barely
The
taller
head
than my
maybe
monitor.
weighs 24 ounces.
Yeah, and he's dragging it like he's a horror movie monster.
And then he just sets it down and picks a fight with the protagonist, and they wrestle around in the grass a little bit. They, like 2 chunky guys fighting over the last ding dong. And then he just takes a pot shot at him with the axe and is like, you better pay the money to this woman who, whatever, bye. And he leaves.
Do you like tomatoes? Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, right after, this is literally seconds after trying to kill him with an axe. He's like, I like tomatoes, I like them in sandwiches. And he leaves.
And then he leaves.
Yeah. This
What
movie's
is going on?
insane.
I mean, I do like that point where Phalus was like, if you had a guard dog, that would have prevented all of this. And the main character, who doesn't emote throughout the entire film, just goes, "You're right."
And then he goes and gets a dog.
Yeah.
He makes a WordPress site that he then later deletes after this film was released.
Yeah, there's multiple scenes of him looking things up. And because he wanted very specific things on screen and very specific visuals, he made every website, but he didn't know how to make websites. So it's like he made my high school level HTML class website with buttons that obviously don't work because you can see JPEG artifacting around them, even in this footage.
Yeah.
Should have used Squarespace.
That would have been really funny. Yeah, in my high school web design class, they were still sold that Dreamweaver was the future. So after
I don't
learning,
even know what the fuck that is.
Macromedia owns a web design program. Adobe now.
Yeah, I remember Dreamweaver.
Adobe owns a web design program, and so even that, like spending 10 minutes in that, you could make something better. It's unreal. But yeah, see, that's how a lot of this film is, though. A character says a thing like, "You should have gotten a dog, that would prevent this," and then the main character goes, "You're right," and then the next scene is him getting a dog. It's just like
You're implying a lot of the scene, a lot of this movie even has talking. There's almost no dialogue in this film.
Yeah, there's maybe like 5 minutes out of the hour people are talking, not counting Microsoft Sam's 15-minute long tangent about how the law of conservation of mass
means souls are immortal because your existence is indestructible.
So die before you die.
Bob,
Yeah.
I don't want you to have to go last again. Who's your favorite person or entity?
I'm actually really torn here because I really love Gecko on the Ceiling. Gecko on the Ceiling is a great look for this movie. Because that gecko clearly just wandered into that guy's ceiling and he's like, "Oh man, I need to get this. This is gold."
Yeah, that's accurate.
You could have taken my second place. There was a moment in the movie where they went outside and there was a turkey. I really like that one too.
It was good.
I think it was a rooster,
It was a
but point taken.
It was an ostrich.
It was the Marmaduke.
But I think that Microsoft Sam really just knocked it out of the park. He freaking played chess with the guy while telling him about how the universe is going to die, so he should probably kill himself.
So, sure, you're going with Microsoft
You're
Sam?
gonna die, so
Yeah,
you better die.
Just like Kingdom Hearts 3.
So, Microsoft Sam would have been my pick.
Sorry, I sniped it.
Nah, it's fine. I understand the hustle of Ceiling Gecko, and I appreciate his presence in the movie, but I'm not really sold on him.
He's not in focus. That's the problem. That's the one problem with Ceiling Gecko.
What about the emu?
How about Spider?
I'm not a fan of Spider.
What about the emu?
Not too much of a
We're
fan.
so emo, KZ.
And not too much
You
of a
mean the
fan
bald
of the
eagle?
Yes.
Yeah, not too much of a fan of the bald eagle.
So your favorite is gonna be Dog, isn't it?
I mean, dog is really good.
to be honest, I have no other options here because the alternative is main character or brother or either of the Asian ladies. And
Was there more than one Asian lady? Oh, I guess there was.
there's the loan shark, and then there's the Maynok's daughter. Yep. So I'm gonna have to go with Dog. The dog was a good dog. You could tell the dog was not having a great time being involved with this filming. He freaked out when the boat started leaving the land. He did not want to be on the tiny canoe. He freaked out when the door was shut and his owner was outside the door, and he started pawing at it. And the movie tried to use this as he is worried about his owner. This is a sad moment. And I'm just like, will you fucking let that dog out? That dog's misery is not worth this scene. This scene doesn't function in the least. Hey guys, who likes this arc with the dog? I should get this dog so it can protect me. I should lock this dog away so it won't die.
And then it starves to death because I died. Except he doesn't. He's just like laying there all cut up, being like, "This sucks."
I got owned.
I figured it out. The whole twist is the brother set this up to get a free dog.
Well, now this movie makes sense. Thank you, KZ.
You're welcome. That was raw.
So is that your favorite entity, Dan?
Yeah, I have to go with dog. There were no other.
What about Villain Lady?
She's doing her best, but the subtitles really should have been there to help.
Does Villain Lady exist? Because at the end she's just hair.
Well, we also see footage of her screaming.
Oh, you meant Villain Lady, not as in Load Shark. You meant Maynok.
Yeah, Maynok. The one who made stock footage.
I honestly, if I could go back and do my favorite scene again, it just might be Maynok's eyeball being under the shower drain, but it's so big that if she were that size, she would be about a half as big as the house. Because they just terribly edited her to be under the drain, and she's huge.
Well, she's a ghost. She can be as big as she wants.
Yeah.
She's a pretty big deal.
So for that one scene, I really enjoyed Maynok. I didn't enjoy her in any other scene.
Now it's time for our least favorite entity. I'll start.
God.
My least favorite entity is the cabinet by the front door. That was
We're running out of entities.
because it is very out of square. So the cabinet doors, one is like an inch higher than the other, and it is very, very poorly made. And every single time it was on screen, it immediately leapt out at me because of how fucking crooked those doors were. It bothered me deeply.
That's I feel you. That's me watching a YouTube video of some old video game where they can't even de-interlace footage right. It's like Samus gets hit and disappears. That's what that is for me. But KZ, what's your least favorite entity and or person?
At first, I was going to pick the stock footage of the spider, because for what reason? But really, my least favorite was the nefarious door that apparently destroyed his finger.
Oh, that door was mean.
Oh yeah, like he clips his finger in a door, but it's almost falling off, and he's like splurting blood everywhere, like a fucking Mortal Kombat fatality.
But he's not emoting at all.
Yeah, that's the fucking...
This guy.
This dude's on some
He's a
heavy
fucking
drugs.
sociopath.
He's been prescribed half of a medicine cabinet. Okay, for my least favorite thing, I'm gonna go with the specific shot, because it really is one of the worst parts watching through this movie more than once. I would have said stock footage, but I love stock footage in this movie. Least favorite entity, the weird point of view shot that shows the candles lined along the entire house and flies all the way downstairs to the living room because the next shot is him walking slowly through the same fucking area.
Look, that shot is great. Then he ruins it with that next shot. That next shot is the bad one.
So here's my thought.
I love
it's
the
like
I
if
love
in
the shot.
Kingdom Hearts
I love that
2,
shot because of the
where they have that in the final mix version or the HD remasters. They have that shot of him walking for that insanely long time. It's like if they had that at the beginning of all of that, a really quick shot of that. Because I might be able to tolerate the really slow walking down the stairs if I didn't have to just see it done really fast.
This movie's version of a good scene like that is when they cut to dart cam, so you know how the dart hits the board.
Oh, yeah. They show a point of view shot from a dart being thrown at a dartboard. That's how insane this
I honestly
film is.
really like the candle scene because they almost had something going, but he didn't want to spend money on candles. So he went to the Walmart and bought a big box of tea lights. So it's just all these little uniform, not at all mystical looking candles leading to the chessboard of destiny.
Yeah, and then it does the zoomed in shot of one good candle he bought. You know, like,
which was still like $2 for that.
Right. He's like, please just believe that all of those candles are this.
Look, he didn't want to spend the $100 on the Red Dead candles, okay?
Fair.
Bob,
Okay.
what is your least favorite person or entity?
The only part that legitimately I had to look away was the spider. So maybe I'm just like, because I'm heavily arachnophobic. I don't want to see like super zoomed in shots of a spider.
And it wasn't even like a basic bitch spider. That was a motherfucking spider.
The tarantula, yeah.
It was a real ass motherfucking furry fucking huge spider.
Yeah. So that was my least favorite moment. Easily. I feel like honestly the main character probably should be somebody's least favorite character, but his weird stoicness about everything is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it is kind of hilarious.
I don't really like him when he isn't reviewing retro games.
Oh yeah, we haven't mentioned this once. The main character looks a lot like the irate gamer.
And his brother looks a lot like a discount David Hayter.
And then the other main guy in this looks like Phalus. It's a really weird movie.
It's fake. We've made it all up.
Yeah, Spider is pretty awful, Bob. I have to agree with you on that. Spider doesn't get me nearly as much as fingernail being ripped off.
Oh yeah.
But he's okay with it. Like that's the craziest part of that scene to me. He's just like,
he's
I
just
just
like,
have to do this now. This is every other day for me.
It's almost like he got ketchup on his thumb. That's how emotionless he goes through the whole fucking thing.
Right, like this door almost topped his hand off, and
he just like wipes off his
I feel like
thumbnail
he has,
it was nothing.
I feel like he had absolutely no idea how to portray like I had a nervous breakdown and have depression, so he just thought it meant not emoting at all.
Right.
Ever.
Right. That was like something you would do.
Does anybody have any final thoughts about Isolation 119?
No.
Isolation 119 is basically the peak of bad indie film. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It constantly invents a new plot line, which thank God, because the thing in a lot of bad cinema is, about a lot of bad indie cinema, is that it has a very shallow idea for a plot and sticks with that the whole time. So I'm going to go ahead and say Isolation 119, it's a 3. Lost in Translation, a 1.
We're going to have to watch that for cursed content eventually.
I don't think we have a single viewer who would be like, what? That film's great. Why are you watching it? But no, probably not.
I think some people might watch it after this and think it's great. Not, ironically.
Possibly. It'd be really
ironically
great.
Kino.
We talking about Lost in Translation or Isolation 119 right now?
Isolation, I don't know what the fuck.
Lost in Translation is a film by Sofia Coppola. It was made in the early aughts or late 90s, and it has a very, very, very shallow plot and is hailed as genius.
It stars Bill Murray.
It stars Bill Murray, and it's probably the worst film I've ever seen him in.
Okay.
Yeah. Bob?
It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards.
Yeah, it's what we call overrated garbage.
Feels like, why would I know about this? I know Dominic Deegan and Homestuck.
I like that you're saying that as though Phil has a mouthful of chewing tobacco.
Hey guys, this is my podcast voice. I'm Regis Philbin.
I'm looking at the plot, and it's about an aging movie star who fucks a young woman, so I guess that's deep. He's a pedophile. It's deep.
Hey, she's of legal age, so it just makes him...
It just makes him weird because he's 50 years old fucking this 20-year-old girl.
Hey, man. Hi.
She's raw.
It's an uplifting story about how a loser can still fuck an attractive young woman, so it made all the dudes in Hollywood feel real good about themselves.
Exactly. Thank you for catching on, because that's exactly what the fuck's going on. And then everyone's like, Sofia Coppola's a great fucking director, just like her fucking father. And then you watch any movie that is an Apocalypse
it's one
Now.
of those.
You watch any movie that's not Apocalypse Now, and you go, wait a fucking second. Hey, Bob.
Hey,
Hey. Last thoughts?
last thoughts. Oh man, this movie. I've seen this movie 3 times now, and
You're welcome.
I'm amazed that I forget parts of it.
It's a lot to take in.
Because the last time I watched this wasn't that long ago.
No, it was
like
November.
Yeah, it was somewhere.
Yeah, it was around
there.
November. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not even been a year, and I'm still just like, that's happening. What?
This movie defies your memory.
Yeah.
It just
Like,
refuses to stick.
yeah, it's Castle Oblivion.
It's insane. I don't.
We move from
'Cause
scene to scene, forgetting everything.
Because I always remember them editing a dude into the mirror. But
Yeah.
I don't remember any shots around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the lead into that is so forgettable.
Well, you see, the way memories work is we sort things into a narrative in our mind. And because this movie doesn't have a fucking narrative at all and is just a collection of scenes, it's impossible to fucking remember.
Yeah, the order, like, there's no tell.
That's a good point.
Like, the only thing that has a solid order in my mind is the subplot with the loan shark lady. Like, that's the only thing I can ever remember, because there's a start, a middle, and a finish to it. There's nothing like that for the rest of this film.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the suicide subplot has nothing.
Yeah. So I guess it feels the only one left. He's forgotten the whole film.
I'm not sorry I watched this movie, but it is going, and I think a lot of people should watch. I think this movie is worth experiencing
Yeah.
just because of how fucking baffling it is, and it's an hour long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. It goes down.
It's easy. It goes down smooth, like butter.
Also, think about it this way, guys. If you go and watch the movie, perhaps with the commentary we offer on our Patreon to people who are $5 patrons or higher, then the filmmaker's comments in the comments section will make a lot more sense.
Yeah, and when he gets upset and threatens to kill us, that'll make more sense.
He's like, I'm going to get Phalus. He's
I'm gonna send Phalus after you. He's gonna swing his little axe.
He's going to kill you if you don't follow him on social media.
That was real. I couldn't get that guy to leave my house.
I just want friends.
Okay, Bob.
What's up?
We're doing it.
What am I supposed to say at the beginning of this? Like the
You're supposed to say that this is the GigaBoots executive producers. So you're supposed to thank them.
This month's GigaBoots executive producers for February 2019 are Vincent Poverk, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Brendan O'Sullivan, Star Falcon,
Even if you say it right now, it's that one.
Spaceman Spiff, Prince Van Space, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Wardonis, Shadow in the Darkness, and Shadow in the Darkness. Thanks to our executive producers, and also these guys. Oh man, where'd they go? They're so quick. You think they'll be back?
No. Tell them they can go to patreon.com/gigaboots today.
Go to gigaboots.com and become a patron. Yeah, you can go to GigaBoots. You can go to patreon.com and become a patron of GigaBoots.
We're letting you do that. You're welcome.
It was great. It would be great. Thank you for doing it. I'm sure you've already done it.